Welcome, everybody, and Happy New Year. This is our first meeting of 2024. Very excited for this year. I think we've got a lot of very exciting projects teed up for the Sigstore community. I'm very, very excited. If you haven't seen already, there's a roadmap. I think it's probably about time to update it because we have a number that we'd want to do within the next 6 months, and I think that was back in September. So we'll spend some time to update that roadmap in the coming future. As always, we'll go through project updates. If you have any, feel free to add those here, and then we'll spend a little bit of time at the end for office hours or any other business. Kicking things off, we have a couple proposals. It looks like for Fulcio and Cosign. For Fulcio, this was a proposal that I had written up that's mostly relevant for private deployers, and a little bit of code cleanup in Fulcio. For very quick context on this, SCTs, which are these proofs that come back from the log, currently are bundled either into certificates or returned alongside a certificate in a header. There's a few reasons noted in the RFC as to why we had this split, but including them in certificates is much better because if you're already storing certificates, then you also store the SCT and you don't have to worry about storing anything else alongside it. I don't know any clients besides Cosign that implement support for these attached SCTs anyways, so I wanted to clean up the code in Fulcio and remove that. If you are a private deployer and are using this, let me know. Otherwise, I'll start cleaning up the code soon. For Cosign, Dimitri, did you want to mention your proposal?
Yes, sure. So we are starting to use the Cosign in our CI, and we got a problem that we have multiple for CA issues. So because of the region redundancy, BCP requirements, and so on. So just passing a single, currently there is a certificate chain parameter, but it just doesn't cut because we would have to kind of manually pick up which, and it gets messy which certificate to use. So I'd like to propose that we allow to pass multiple CA roots. I suggested there's the CA roots parameter, CA-roots parameter, but I'd like to anyone who is interested to review this and give feedback, especially in terms of the kind of API of the command line flag's name and their functionality.
Thanks for oh, that's funny. I was about to mention William. Thanks for bringing this up. I think there's a few people that might be interested in this. And William, just as you join, the proposal we're talking about right now is this Cosign one. I think you might be interested in this from a client perspective. We've talked a lot about what to do with roots and how to distribute them. Cosign right now has this issue of there are so many different ways of providing roots. And so I think we maybe need to take a quick look at this and see if this is making the problem worse and adding more ways to distribute roots. And if we want to start working towards minimizing the number of ways, that's very important. But we'll take a look at the proposal. Sorry, I haven't gotten a chance to take a look yet. So I'll start a thread on Cosign where we can chat more about this on the Slack channel.
Okay, great. Thanks. We'll appreciate your comments.
Awesome. Did not have any other updates for Cosign or for Recore. Clients, were there any updates?
I can give a brief update on Sigstore Python. The only major thing happening on the Sigstore Python front is we are working on Busy support for sign-in verification. I have a work in progress PR up for the sign-in part of that, and then once that's merged, I'll work on verification. Yeah, that is looking pretty smooth. That will probably remain at the API level for now. We haven't really figured out a good way to expose that on the CLI yet, just because obviously each attestation layout will be different. So we haven't figured out a good UX for that yet.
Awesome. Excited to see that added. Again, I think this is one of these things where we kind of see every client taking a slightly different approach to it. So I'm excited to see that added. I don't have any updates for Go beyond Sigstore Go work is continuing. I'm trying to go through the repo and just create some follow-up issues. I'm gonna chat with some of the other maintainers of Sigstore Go, and hopefully we'll just cut an initial alpha release very soon, so that folks can start giving it a try. For infrastructure, I don't think we had any updates. We had a code freeze for the public instance over the holidays. No issues. So I'll move on to docs. I'll just touch on this first one real quick. Since Lisa's not here, I copied this over. We discussed this last time too, but if you haven't seen it already, this is a really great report that goes through the Google season of docs that we did with Patrick. Take a look if you'd like. It's a really nice case study. I think it was a very, very successful program, and definitely one that I think we'd like to do this year too. Dimitri, did you want to mention the blog post?
Yeah, so my colleagues, my paranoid teammates posted a blog post right before the new year about scaling up supply chain security. So about our experience with the Sigstore cosign, and we summarize some of our contributions and just what we do. So take a look, and this also can be a background like for what other the proposal that I mentioned before. So this kind of what we need. So this kind of cosign without fulture. And our hope that this could help other enterprises that are kind of in a similar position, that have their own CA and identity infrastructure, maybe copy this and pick up cosign and start using it.
Thanks for adding this. This was
Also,
a really great blog post.
Yeah, since it's our first kind of write-up, or first thing outside beside pull requests. So if you have any comments or feedback about kind of the writing and what we could do better, differently, please let me know. We are eager to have any comments. Thanks.
Of course. If you'd like to get a bit more traction on this too, I think we can probably write up something on the Sigstore blog, linking to this blog post too as a case study for users of Sigstore.
Okay. Yeah. We
so
posted
feel free to just propose.
We posted the link in the private infrastructure because we thought it was the most relevant. But yeah, if you could mention it, it would be great, of course.
Yeah, we can definitely do that. All that needs to be done is just creating a markdown file in the Sigstore blog repo. And we can either link to this, we could copy the text, up to y'all, whatever you prefer, but we can follow up afterwards about that.
Okay, thanks.
Awesome. If there's no other project updates, the last thing to call out would just be outreach and events. The only one that I wanted to call out was Open Source Summit in North America, which is happening mid-April in Seattle. The CFP is closing in, I guess, less than a week now, 5 days. So if you're interested in submitting a talk, please do so. I'm hoping to be there, so if you are there, definitely come say hi. All right. With that said, the last part of this is if there is any other business or any office hour topics anybody wants to discuss.
I don't know if it's relevant to the larger community, but Hayden, I owe you a review on the algorithm signing, the registry of supported algorithms for various parts of Sigstore. The configurable crypto algorithms, that's the name of the document.
I will say, take some of my comments with a grain of salt, because I was going over them going, I don't remember writing these. It was a little while ago. And I think my opinions are still accurate, but now with slightly larger context, I'm going to do another pass over that doc too, and so we can chat more about it. Overall, I think it's good, and I know we've discussed a little bit on some issues about some of this work too.
Yep.
So yeah, I'll feel free to ping me if there's anything that you need from that. Otherwise, I'll take a pass today or so over that talk. Alrighty. Well, with that, the last part is just introductions. If there's anybody new to the community who wants to say hello.
Hello everyone. Hi, myself Vivek Kumar Sahu. I am from India. I have just graduated my bachelor degree this year. Apart from that, I have previously contributed to Kaivarno project, and now looking forward to work into software supply chain security for next 3 to 4 years. So to get started with that project, I choose to work with Sigstore project. So I thought to go with some contribution with Cosine project and get started with that. That's all about me.
Awesome. Well, welcome to the community. We're really excited to have you, and thanks for the contributions you've been making so far.
Yeah.
Oh, Tom, I think you muted. Oh, I love that feature. And
that should be better. That was a dramatic experience, wasn't it? Awesome. Yeah, so hi everyone. I've looked around in the Sigstore community before, but for one reason or another, my focus has shifted towards it, away from it, and so on. However, I joined a company called TestifySec in November to start working as an open source engineer. So TestifySec are very heavily focused on the Intoto project. Of course, Sigstore leverages Intoto quite heavily. I'm predominantly working on the Witness project, which has recently been donated to Intoto. Part of my job as an open source engineer is, includes in the name, working in the wider open source. And so by joining this call, I am starting to get my focus shifting back towards the Sigstore project and hope to be working alongside you all in the following months, years. There's also quite a lot of crossover in terms of what Witness as a tool wants to do and what Cosine and Sigstore already does do. And I think there's probably some opportunity for convergence in terms of software and libraries and that sort of thing. So yeah, stay tuned for that sort of thing. But yeah, good to see everyone and meet those that I haven't met before.
Super excited to work more together on this. I know I've looked at the Witness project a little bit. Very cool stuff. I mean, this is I think within the Sigstore community, we have something like Policy Controller. These types of topics around how to verify the metadata that Sigstore and other supply chain projects produce, super critical. Definitely one of those areas that we want to tackle this year. Because I think if I were to say what's the biggest gap right now, that's probably it. Just because we're doing a great job of getting the metadata out there, getting it more, getting Sigstore adopted into a number of projects. But now what do we do with it?
Speaking of which, you've actually jogged my memory. I can't give you any promises on when, but I've done some work on rewriting the gatekeeper provider for Cosine. So there's as part of the Sigstore inside of the Sigstore organization, there's a repo called Cosine Gatekeeper Provider or Gatekeeper Provider Cosine, and it's not been very well maintained of late. And I think it doesn't support the latest version of Gatekeeper, as the feature it uses requires MTLS in the latest versions. I started rewriting that. I want to eventually contribute that back and put some more effort into managing it. But there's a few things that I want to work through first. Yeah, but might be worth preparing that for a community discussion in following weeks. and I'll discuss those things on Slack when the time comes. You just need to give me some time because I'm trying to get up to speed with all sorts of different things outside of Sigstore. But yeah.
Of course, that would be great. And if you'd like to do like a presentation on it too, I'm aware of this repo, but I know nothing about the contents of it. So giving it some love would be great.
Yeah, it's basically a way of allowing you to verify cosign signatures on artifacts with Gatekeeper.
Okay, that's awesome. Well, thanks for taking a look at that. All righty.
One
oh,
cool thing that I forgot to add, we had a couple of meetings with the Red team about kind of the Sigstore and the Red team, so tools like Podman and DNF. So we just have a kind of initial discussions, and we ask the kind of the most important thing that we are interested is the DNF integration and Podman support. So if we have anything more concrete, so they kind of took our wishes and got the idea what we want. But if any of you interested in Red Hat, feel free, or those tools, feel free to pin me. And if you have any news, I'll make sure to report here.
it sounds good. And yeah, I think there's probably some folks in the Slack channel, I think, that would have more context into that too.
Which channel?
I think it'd be any of them. I mean, you can maybe post on random or something.
Okay.
See if somebody chimes in. All right. Well, with that, we'll conclude today's community meeting. Hope everybody has a great couple of weeks and happy New Year.
Thanks, everyone. See you.